Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Executive After Hours vlog series, The Leadership Perspective. This is your host, Dr. James Scott. All right, today's topic comes from my book, The Crucible's Gift, 5 Lessons from Authentic Leaders Who Thrive in Adversity. Pre-order March 20th, purchase April 23rd. And this particular topic comes out of the self-awareness chapter. Now, as I've said in the past, and if you follow any of my writing, I talk about that almost every executive coach will tell you this is the hardest thing to get leaders to do, to become more self-aware. And so a specific topic today really comes out from the idea of your public versus private self. Now, what is that? This comes from an individual named Dr. John Turner. He's one of the really founders of this concept, and he developed this idea called categorization theory. And in essence, what this is you trying to manage your self-concept in 2 parts. The first part is, how do I see myself, my private self? And the second part is, how do others socially see me, my public self? And what I found is that leaders tend to struggle with this private versus public self. So when they're at work or they're out speaking, they turn themselves way up to manage this public self or engage in impression management. And what happens then is they come home and they turn 180 degrees and they're kind of like, who is this person at home? They've seen them out, they see how they're gregarious and outgoing. When they come home, they're totally different. The reason why this is really important for you, the leader, is that it's exhausting. It's exhausting to be one person at work and another person at home. It's exhausting to those who you live with. It's exhausting for those who you work with. Because at the end of the day, the people that you work with know if you're trying to manage your impressions, right? You're trying to manage yourself, your self-concept. And they're clearly aware of it at home when they see you in work environments. And so one of the rules that I always try to come up with and talk about is this idea of saying, do you have a 15% rule? And that 15% really is and requires you to have a higher level of self-awareness. So once you understand where your baseline authenticity is, can you turn yourself up 15% when you need to and bring yourself down 15%? That's a 30% swing when you think about it. You know, I often say tongue-in-cheek, when I'm on stage, I'm much more outgoing. But when I go to my in-laws' house, I turn myself way down 15%. And so the idea is that when leaders are able to maneuver this 15%, they're actually much more impactful because they're being their genuine selves at all times. Not only is that impactful for the people you lead and the people at home, but it's impactful for you because you're no longer having to deal with the psychological damage of having to be something other than yourself. So for this week, the big ask that I would have for you is I want you to take a scan of yourself. And what I mean by that is do a little visualization and try to determine, are you being as authentic as possible? And do you have a 15% rule? And if you do have a 15% rule, ask yourself, how do you manage yourself, the impressions of others on you? And this is a really important thing. So again, you can do this through visualization. You can actually do this through journaling as well. All right. So until next week, enjoy, take care, and be good humans.
You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. Just believe it.